What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, I went ahead and traded some TSM upside off a very key level, a 143 retest. Now, today, we're going to switch things up a little bit in the video. We're going to go and drop all of the live information in the front half of the video, and then at the end of the video, if you want to stick around, I can do a more in-depth analysis and post-mortem type recap of the trade on TSM. So what I'm going to include in the front half of this video is a live recording of the watch list, our game plan, building that game plan. What was I providing? What was I looking for to take this trade? So you're going to see how I built that idea, how I built that game plan live, and you'll see the recording that I share with the group. After you see how I built that game plan and how I plan to take this trade, you will see the actual executions, me taking the trade, me managing the trade, and me taking profits on the trade. This is the live trade that we'll include in the video as well. After you see both the live game plan, building the game plan, and executing the trade, I'll go ahead and do a recap of the trade at the end of today's video. You're going to see everything. You're going to see it from step one to the end of the trade, right? From the game plan, the execution, the management, the taking profits. All of it's going to be included in today's video live for you to see, and I hope you do enjoy that. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel. The next time I'm going to see you here is a postmortem recap after you guys enjoy the live recordings. All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Some very key levels on NQES to be watching right now. 18.4 in the 20 SMA on NASDAQ and that 52.70 on ES. We're pushing into them right now. These will be really good levels to watch into open. If we can hold above these levels, I like the upside. 521 on SPY. Let's see if we can hold above them. If we get rejections here, then we're in the same exact channel that we have been in all morning. So don't want to get too excited for the breakout. We have to wait for that to break and hold above. If it does, then we can look for the continuation. But until then, we stay patient. Some top watches today on the individual stocks. NVIDIA 892, big watch here. I like this as a potential rejection point if the markets do weaken, right? This could be a nice little flagging sort of upside move. If we could see that 892 reject, this could be interesting, something to be watching. If we get above 892, then we'll likely sort of slide higher, possibly into that 20, and possibly into that 905. So either way, 892 is a big watch for either side. If we get that market to push through these supplies this morning, we could probably look for NVIDIA on a long over 892. So it goes both ways. Definitely going to be watching the 892 level both ways. TSM, probably one of my top watches today. I really like this subsidy that they got from the U.S. government. I think this is good for TSM. Definitely seeing upside reaction on the market. 143. This is where we're going to want to be long TSM. This would be the best possible long spot for risk reward. I like this 143 as a long spot on TSM. Maybe you could even, you could sort of front run it a little bit with a stop loss under that 143 as long as you're comfortable with that. The only thing to be cautious of is the 147 above. If TSM gets over 147, I think it's sort of ready for more upside, some more major upside. Over 147 is big time. I'd say over 147, you could definitely see this thing move to the upside. So 143 would be a dream long. 147 is your supply. That's the little zone that I'll be watching today on TSM. We got our pullback into the SPY daily 20. We got our hold of 143. So this is going to be my first shot of the day. Pullback long on TSM. That's our level 143. I'm just going to trust it. I would like to see the SPY hold above the 20 SMA. So I'm long TSM 144 calls. I'm going to keep my stop very tight today under the 143. And I'd like to see the SPY maintain the daily 20 SMA here. If the SPY does not hold that demand, if the NASDAQ does not hold that 18,230 demand, then I'll likely get stopped out. But for now, I like where we're entering long here. If we get continuation off the daily 20 on SPY, possibly up into 147, but that's the long shot. Yep, I'm long TSM. I'm seeing the SPY holding the daily 20, and I'm looking for this morning downside to be an opportunity off that key demand on TSM. SPY looks to be good off the daily 20 if anyone long that. Good long spot on SPY off the daily 20 SMA, very nice there. I don't like that NVIDIA rejection though. Careful on that NVIDIA rejection, that 875 rejection's a little bit concerning there. Very nice on TSM. Very nice strength. So perfect game plan this morning. Do not short into the daily 20 on the SPY. Very happy I stuck by that. It's getting rejected at 145 a little bit, so be careful. Still not interested in shorting into the SPY daily 20. Could just be a little fake out to the downside here. So I'm not going to short into that daily 20 still on SPY, that's for sure. Still believing in the TSM 143 level. I would be careful looking for downside here. I think your SPY 20 SMA is holding, guys. Be careful shorting into this. This is a pretty decent hold for now on the SPY. Need TSM over 145 here. I'm going to take some profits on TSM into this pop. Just took some off up 11%. I'm still not in love with the market, so if I can get up 11%, I'm going to take a little bit. Alright, I'm going to take some more profits on TSM here as it pops again into my level. Nice TSM. Let's see if it can break and push over this 145 here. Very strong here. It's not really, I mean, it's rejecting it, but man, I don't know. Like, do you really think that it's rejecting Spags, but is it continuing? Not really. It's sort of a guess. I'd be more on the side of the SPY holding the 20. Personally. That's at least my read right now. I'd be more interested in seeing if this 20 holds on SPY. I'm going to take a little bit more profit on TSM here. On that pop, I'm up 20%. Scaling off a little bit more. Going back to my roots here today, guys. The roots are scaling out. Protecting myself. Alright. TSM up 30%, guys. Beautiful. Congrats on that one. Anyone else take TSM there with me? How'd you play it? You scaling out? You holding some? What are you guys doing on it? You're out? Out? Scaled out? Nice. One left, one runner. Good. Yeah, I mean, guys, I think that's with the market that we've been seeing and with a lot of that question mark heading into this week, something like that's about all you can ask for in this market. All right, guys, so now that you saw the watch list to the execution, the profit taking, how we sort of managed that trade, I want to go ahead and do a recap here after we have exited the trade, taken our profits, talk a little bit about the trade, how it worked, but there's reasons why the continuation wasn't as strong and why today more than ever and in the market more than ever that we're currently seeing, locking up those profits and accepting what you can get is just so important with the sideways action we've been getting, especially with the CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, FOMC minutes on Wednesday as well. There's a lot of uncertainty still in this market. There's a lot of sideways chop, and if you can get a clean move like we did on TSM today, according to the game plan, off a key demand level, nice continuation, about 30%, you got to start locking that in. And you guys saw in the live trading how I was scaling out into those pops to the upside on TSM, which is what I love to do. And I am very happy, and you will see right here why that was so crucial, because TSM came all the way back to our entry point, and I would have given up every single profit I had if I was not a profit taker on that move. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about why I was watching 143 with a little bit of a larger term view. You guys can see right here, we had some previous highs around this 143. That was very clear, right? We had previous rejections at 143 multiple times here over the last few trading weeks, right? This was our channel. So 143 was our high. We had a very tough time getting above 143 in the past. Now, you can see today, we got above that 143 in the pre-market. We got above 143, and if we're above a breakout point, which was 143, we are looking for that break and retest long entry, right? So we're looking for the markets to break a supply, break a rejection point, come back down to it, turn it into a support, use that as my long entry, and then see if I can get that upside continuation, right? That is the break and retest strategy. So today, if we go down to the 2-minute chart, let's go to the 2-minute chart, and let's take a look at what we were looking at this morning. This morning, we were looking at a break and hold above the 143 level in the pre-market, right? This is our pre-market. Let's go ahead and go to an extent, or put this as the pre-market action. So you can see we got above 143 in the pre-market this morning. We had an extension past that 143 in the pre-market as well. So what we love to see is that morning downside to come back down to that retest level, give us that pullback, right? Come back down to our demand level that we were looking too long, and then start to watch the price action, right? This area right here is the key area. This is where the money is made. The money is made by understanding what's happening as you come back to your level you want to trade off of, right? Everything is meaningless before you come back down to this level, right? This is where you make money. This is what we're paid to do. We are paid to watch what happens at key inflection points on the market. And we have to, one, spot those levels. That's step one, but we know that 143 was. Number two is, okay, once we get there, there is now an edge. There is now an opportunity. There is now something we can trade now that we're at a key level. So we got our move back to 143. We were patient for that move. We came back down to that pre-market low and then that previous high that we just talked about, and we needed to start monitoring price action. Now, what I saw here on the 2-minute chart was this candle right here. Look at that candle, right? We came back down into that 143. We had a very strong reaction off that 143 level and a wick down below. Now, once I see that, I know, okay, my level's being respected. I can now potentially set up a trade, stop loss under 143. I was originally looking for a move back up into 147, but unfortunately, I could only get a move up into around that 146. So I got, my planned RR was around 50 cents risk for about $4 or $5 profit. And eventually, or ultimately, I only got about a $4 reward, right? I got in around that 143.40, exit around that 146. So I still had some great risk reward on this trade. It wasn't as much as I originally planned, and that is partially due to the overall chop and sideways action in the market. And that is why we have to be scaling out as we get our push, right? There is no excuse to still be fully positioned at wherever the high is on the day, right? So if we're entering here, which you guys saw in the live trade, we're taking profits off as we get the move. Now, of course, this is easier said than done. If you have a one contract position size, yeah, it's very difficult to do that. But if you guys are in that situation where you can take 5, 10, 15 contracts, taking quarters off, taking half off on those big pushes, on those green candles is going to protect your downside, right? Because once I got most of my profits out at those highs, right, this downside later day did not affect my P&L, right? Because I was already locking in those profits on the push to the upside so that if the market does reverse, if a trade comes back down to our entry point, we're still up nicely and profitable on the position. So you guys sort of saw in that live recording how I was scaling out of that trade. Now you can see that reaction at the 143 was the key, and you saw that, and you saw the entry live in today's video. Entry live on the video, 143, scaling out into the push, a very nice trade. And I want to go ahead and preface why I was willing to maintain this trade and why TSM held, really, the main reason why TSM held that 143 was because of this right here. And this is the SPY ETF. And coming into today, we knew and we game planned, we said we are not shorting into that daily 20 on SPY. And you can see the SPY dropped this morning, came right back into that daily 20 and consolidated and pushed up nicely. And this really was the entry point. This was pretty much the TSM trade, right? Drop in the morning, hold that 143 demand, have the SPY hold that daily 20, use that daily 20 hold as a confidence, right? As a reason to enter TSM off that 143. And you saw the SPY push off that demand and you saw TSM do the same, right? So monitoring what the SPY is doing, seeing how it's reacting, understanding this morning that the SPY was holding the daily 20 and knowing that, hey, TSM sitting at our demand, this is an awesome confluence. This is an awesome opportunity to take this trade. And that's pretty much what we did today. So I hope you sort of understood this trade, the game plan, the mindset behind TSM, behind the SPY, how to manage this market, especially with, and you guys see it, man, this sideways action. If we can get those sort of pops, right? If we can get a move, if we can get something here intraday, you know, if we get some kind of a trend in our favor, we have to be locking it up as we get it. Hopefully, there's going to be better price action in the future, but this is how we're going to have to trade in this market. This is how we're going to have to navigate as of right now with what we're witnessing on this market. So Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you enjoyed the watch list, the game plan, the trading, the executions, this little recap. If you guys enjoyed it, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.